Okay, so we just finished the in-depth cleaning of the rails. I had these soaking in a little dish of Deoxit F5 for about 10-15 minutes. They've been sitting out long enough for all of the material to evaporate off of it. Now it's time to reassemble the crossfader. Before I do so though, since we're doing an in-depth cleaning, I just want to touch everything. So I'm going to go into this little hole here, clean it out, make sure it's good. Same over here with this side. Might as well swap that out as well. Also, your end blocks, little holes, just give them a quick gentle dust off there. And this is going to be the first part that goes back together. So, alright, I've got my end block, I've got the board. I'm going to put it on there, and remember the hall sensor, this little black diode here, it's going to fit in between the grooves of the end block, so you know it's on accurately. Flip it over, 2 screws to put it back together, and again, remember this is soft plastic, short screws, so you don't need to get all Hulk on it. Just tighten it until you feel the tension. Alright, I feel it grabbing there. Grab my second screw, pop it in, do the same thing, just give it a nice gentle tighten. You know, again, make sure it's tight. You don't want the end block wobbling around, but like I say, you don't need to get all Hulk on it. Okay, so we've got one end block in. We want to start attaching the rails. Now, the rail I'm going to put in back, and I know it's the back because I can see Rane here and I can read it. So this must be the back. The rail in the back needs rubber washers. Okay, so I'm going to take one of my rubber washers. I'm going to put it on the end of the rail. Doesn't matter how far you put it, it will correct itself later. So I've got that there. I then want to take my crossfader unit, slide this bad boy on there, and make sure that this is pointing towards you. So when we reattach it, it's pointing the same way as Rane. To keep it from falling off, I need the rubber washer for the other side. So let's put that on there. Okay. We'll position it in the end block here. It goes right in the hole. And the rubber washer, you'll know how far to move that down based on the space. So I'm just going to get that sitting snug tight against there. Easy enough. Take my second rail, plug it right into there, into the hole. Make sure that this torsion bar, you're getting it underneath the silver rail when you put it back together. Time for the next end block. Alright. Pop it into the holes. It will kind of hold itself in place once you've done that. A little bit tricky here. Alright, 1, 2, in position, adjust the rubber washer so it's tight. Excellent. I need 2 screws to go in the back of this now. So, short screws, soft plastic, gentle tighten. And we're almost done here. The fader's close to completely back together. We've cleaned it, but now I want to lube it. And to lube it, I will use a product, another Deoxit product, F100L is what I'm going to use here. And as you see on the back of the carrier, there's a little gap. So what I want to do, simply take my Deoxit. Small amount goes a long ways here. So I just want to do a quick little drop in between it. Got one there. Quick little drop on the side of the rail here. Got it. One more drop here. As you can see, I'm not using a lot. Put it here, here, and here. And I'm just going to work the fader back and forth. That's going to lube it. Do it back and forth a few times, make sure it gets over there and works itself in. You don't need to lube the front rail because it's only the rear rail that it's sliding across. So, cleaned, lubed, put back together. Now we got to put it back into the mixer. And the important part, remember, I know you can't see it here, but it says J1 on this side of those pins. This is very important. J1 needs to be here, and the red line needs to go on the J1 side. So J1 right there, red line right here, I know it needs to be assembled like that. If you do it backwards or it's not sitting on there fully, you can fry your fader. So please make sure that the red line matches up with J1 and that you have it firmly on there. If the ribbon cable ever becomes detached from the main board of the mixer, make sure when you reattach it, the red line of the ribbon cable is pointing to the right. And now it's ready to go back into the mixer. A little trick to get it back into the mixer: if you just set it in there, well, it's going to fall to the bottom, right? So, grab the carrier, grab the little metal rail, goes back and forth, and you can just hold it into position. I want to move my end block over so the screw hole lines up. Grab my screw, put it right back in there for it. Got to get that lined up there. And I'm not going to tighten it all the way. I just want it tight enough so it holds it for now, because I'm going to try to put the other screw in and I need to make sure that it still lines up. So yes, it does. It still lines up. And this one, I'm going to go ahead and tighten all the way down. So, okay, nice and tight. I'm going to come back here and make this one nice and snug. My fader's not going anywhere. Awesome. Last thing to do is put your face plate back on. It should fit right over all the slots. There we go. 4 more screws and you are done. So let's put them back in. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Fader caps on. You are now ready to rock.